Since the release of Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube, Nintendo has been hard at work coming up with an even stranger addition to the series. It took 14 years, but it's finally here. Star Fox Guard is certainly the Star Fox game we never knew we wanted. Originally presented as Project Guard at E3 2014, Guard was one of Miyamoto's special projects along with Project Giant Robot, attempting to find new and unique uses for the Wii U gamepad. As such, Star Fox Guard fits in quite nicely, packaged alongside Star Fox Zero. Right from the start, Star Fox Guard feels like the kind of concept the Wii U was designed for. It makes use of the system's unique attributes in a manner that we've rarely seen since Nintendo Land. In fact, Star Fox Guard feels like a game that could have been in Nintendo Land. The concept is simple, easy to understand, but with plenty of room for you to hone your skills. You've recently been hired by Grippy Toad, the uncle of everyone's favorite Star Fox team member, Slippy. Grippy runs a mining company, responsible for harvesting precious metals. He then sells them to the Cornerian military to support their war effort against the armies of Andross. Finally, Nintendo has taken the time to flesh out the complex socio-economic situation of the Lylat system. Grippy's mining facilities have recently come under siege from a bevy of belligerent bots who are for some reason dead set on shutting down Grippy's operation. Your job is to stop them. The gamepad screen displays an overhead map of your base. From here you can see the position and direction of each of your cameras, along with any mischievous robots who have penetrated your base. You can rearrange your cameras by dragging them across the touchscreen. The TV shows you the feeds from all of your cameras. One particularly large screen in the middle of the TV shows the camera you currently have selected. The selected camera can be moved with the sticks on the gamepad. You can also fire the selected camera's weapon by pushing any of the trigger or face buttons. Finally, the selected camera's view is rendered at a higher frame rate from the others, making it easier to detect enemies. This becomes particularly relevant in later levels as cloaked enemies become more prevalent. Enemies are split into two categories, Attack and Chaos. Attack class robots have one goal: get to your excavator and destroy it, thus causing you to lose the level. Because they're the true threat, defeating all of the attack bots will result in a win, even if Chaos bots remain on the map. Attack class robots are generally tough to kill for one reason or another. Some are simply bullet sponges, while others are extremely quick or invisible to either your cameras or your map. Chaos class robots, on the other hand, are there to cause distractions and, well, chaos. Their goal is to take out your cameras in order to impede your ability to fight off the attack robots. At first, they simply destroy your cameras, but as the game goes on, they'll become much more devious. One type in particular will actually latch onto the front of your camera and feed it a false image. Once you realize this has happened, you'll have to switch to another camera from which you can see the one affected and destroy the robot attached to it. As levels go on, more and more annoying Chaos robots help to amp up the difficulty. And speaking of later levels, this game has a lot of them. While it's easy to see Star Fox Guard as little more than an add-on for Star Fox Zero, it does feel very full-featured. The main story missions alone will take upwards of 5 hours to complete, assuming of course you don't have to retry too many times. Add to that the plethora of extra missions unlocked as you level up in the game, and you can easily double your playtime. The question is, do you want to? Despite regularly changing base layouts, there are 3 on each planet, regularly added new robots, and the occasional boss battle, 1 per planet, Star Fox Guard's gameplay can quickly start to feel repetitive, which is a shame, as the payoff at the end of the game is quite good. The boss fights are one of the brighter spots in the game, as you'll have to employ different strategies than you do in the standard missions. Oftentimes, you'll be fighting against a truly gigantic enemy that can be seen from any camera at your base. However, there may still be a few Chaos bots wandering around, messing with your cameras while you're distracted with the boss. Finding a good balance between defending your cameras and defeating the boss results in some of the best content in the game. Alleviating this monotony somewhat is the unexpected online functionality. No doubt taking some inspiration from Super Mario Maker, Star Fox Guard features a level editor. As you play through the main campaign, you'll unlock robots to use in your custom levels. These robots can then be placed via a timeline structure into your level. You can even go as far as to adjust the paths these robots will take as they make their way through the base. As other players take on your levels, you'll be awarded points for each player who loses to your robotic horde. Throughout the game, whether playing single player or the online levels, you'll be leveling up your profile. As you do so, you'll unlock additional stages for each base on every planet. These stages are oftentimes more interesting than the main levels, as they employ a lot of new mechanics not seen in the standard missions. Had these mechanics been sprinkled in more regularly to the mainline missions, it would have made a lot of these levels feel less repetitive. At the same time, at least they are indeed available to play. Essentially, the game leaves it up to you just how fresh and varied you want your experience to be. I personally consider Star Fox Zero to be well worth the $60 price tag, therefore, as a free bonus title, Star Fox Guard is a fantastic bargain. It's fully featured and has a nice long single-player campaign. So what if it's a little repetitive? You didn't pay anything for it, so what does it matter if you never finish it? However, Star Fox Guard is also being sold as a separate digital game via the eShop. Here is where it's a little harder to justify. As a single-player offering, it may not keep you entertained for the entire campaign, but as a party game, it's a great experience to have with your friends, and one that can only be accomplished on the Wii U.
Thanks again for all your help.